Hello everyone, Sheldon over here, and as you always know, now I'm doing the new league in Necropolis. I'm playing a Bladestorm berzeker. I have some gameplay in the background. I may die. It's quite interesting. So if you saw the last video, we are quality stacking, rage stacking, and trying to get as much attack speed as possible. We are using chaos damage as our main source of damage, thanks to the, let's say, new part that we get from Unholy Might. Now it's 100% conversion from physical to chaos, and also you get wither chance. Now, as for how we are in our build, I still like a lot of things that I have in mind. I don't have Ashes of the Stars. I don't have Savior. I don't have Pot of Faith. I also don't have Waterside, the Flesh Flame combo. I have something to say about that, but I will talk a little bit about later. Right now, I'm using two Psychotic Axes. Now, instead of the Flesh Ripper that I was using before, that is why you can see that my max rage is 135. That of course gives us a lot of attack speed, move speed, damage, etc. etc. I also got Lethal Pride with 20% double damage. Um, there are some of them in the zone that I chose, but you can also get a 15% double damage and some critical multiplier. That should be almost the same or better if you got it on full nodes. As for the abilities, of course, it's Bladestorm of Uncertainty. As you know, it's the kind of changed one. The quality is the same than the one that I'm stacking. As of right now, I already have my enhance at level 4. Insight at Diana's Malefiction, making it level 6. And giving us, in this case, 7 of the Bladestorms. Now I'm going to show you the gear. Again, remember, this is still super work in progress. We don't have not even half of the damage that the build can have. There's also some corruptions that are kind of cool that I have right now. I want to show you. They are a little bit for the future, but it's good that I have them now. Now, this is my character. As you can see, we are using an Abyssus. I was using for a while the Brittle Helmet, but I changed because I sniped this one really cheaply. Full critical multiplier and the less damage taken. I'm going to do the tech in the future with the cowl from Blight to get that extra power. And of course, I have a random amulet instead of the Ashes of the Stars that we will have in the future. I'm using, in this case, the reverse chill thingies. I don't have any way to proc it permanently on me right now. The idea was to, in the future, use Forbidden Right or the other one. We have Forbidden Right here from this one and to trigger or something like that. Of course, right now it's quite dangerous. As you know, we would take a lot of damage. There's also Dark Pact that you can also use. But I think Dark Pact it's a little bit different because it's like spending life instead of hitting yourself. See? So it doesn't proc the chill. But Forbidden Right does. Of course, we will need to get more chaos resistance, something like that, and find a way to automate it, and also get some life on hit and other things to get that life instantly instead of just regening or using leech. That is for the Call of the Void and Winter with tech. Call of the Void makes that everything that hits me can chill me, and Winter will Winter Width makes it so we get extra action speed from that. So instead of getting minus 30, we are getting plus 30 action speed. Now, as for my Diala's setup, we have Bladestorm of Uncertainty. I will get it to 21, 23 eventually. I'm doing a lot of Doriani's thingies and leveling them and corrupting. It's likely that I will have to buy them if I don't get it on one of the next ones, because it's just cheaper than running all of mine, because these have locus of corruption. I don't really have anything to double corrupt apart from my Dialas. I don't want to corrupt it right now because it's kind of pricey. And it's this Bladestorm. You can see right now I have 20 plus 30, 50 plus 40, 90, and then we will need 10% more. But ideally, we get 30% more to get that extra Bladestorm and have 9 maximum. We would need, my idea is to get a 28 Ashes of the Stars. It's half the price than a 30, and then get 23 quality from the corruption. Then we have Rage. Of course, we are stacking Rage. It's the best support that we can use, kind of. Bloodthirst, we get a lot of flat damage. This flat damage gets increased by our Rage, but all of our increases, and by the other multipliers. Enhance, important to get it at level 4, so it has the 24 baseline, and then gets 2 levels by being in a red socket. Of course, remember the ability, the Bladestorm, we want it on a green socket, so it gets that 30 extra quality. Close combat, because we are using an axe attack, we can use this very strong support gem instead of extra physical, because that one gives us less attack speed. We don't really want that because we want a lot of attack speed, and multi-strike a lot of attack speed, and it also makes it easier to proc higher powerful ailments, because the last hit does more. Of course, in the future we want awakened multi-strike, but that's of course something that we will have to play around. Now for other things, of course, we'll use Berserk to pop bosses. A Blitz plan. When we have a lot of rage, it's going to be really fast, and thanks to close combat, it's going to be even faster. Now here we have our life setup. It will be War Banner, Vitality, Precision, and Arrogance. Ideally, of course, you want everything here to be the auras, these two 21 and this one 21, 23, but of course, as always, in the future. Here on my boots, I have multiple totems, then Protector, and Baal Warchief. Baal Warchief is also something that you pop when you want to kill something really fast, with Berserk also. Petrified Blood is just right over here. We have, instead of Forbidden Rite, I have Assassin's Mark right now to get power charges. In the future, I also want to use Despair, but right now I'm just using it with Mark on Hit to get really fast power charges everywhere. Now, as you can see, of course, we would use Panopticon or something like that, but because this is a random neck that I bought to get some intelligence and dexterity, we don't really have that. Now for the corruptions of my rings, 23 level Despair. We don't have 155 intelligence. You see here that I have a lot of intelligence, but this is because of this neck. And we could have it from here too, then from this node for intelligence or dexterity. But ideally, you don't need those and can use a level 23 Despair. The difference between a level 23 and a 2020 or a 21-23, it's not that huge. Apart from trying to get that intelligence, is going to be almost impossible. Mana per hit with attacks. You can also get in your cluster instead of smite. This was the cheapest one that I could get with Blood Scent. It costed me like 60 chaos almost a week ago. I got it because I have general attack leech, because remember, Blood Rage is physical attack leech. It doesn't work when our damage changes from physical to chaos. And then we have some extra damage. The increased attack damage on full life does not work, but you get that leech. Also, Smite the Weak is just 40% extra damage, not bad. Here, this is our enabler for our damage for chaos. We get also Wither from here, and that is why Savior is so good too, because it lets us stack that Wither faster and also keep it up. That's why I also have the Wither expires slower. Ideally, in my Exarch, I will have the Rage per hit, but sadly, I don't have a lot of embers, and I really CBA to buy them because I also have to change this glove. This is not the glove that I really want to use. I want to use gloves with accuracy and attack speed. Maybe get that haunted mod for multiplier and also frenzies on our prefixes. Ideally, we get those two fractured and then can get life and attack speed and the other things just with normal crafting. Also, using Veiled Orbs can help. The belt has not changed. The Beard Girdle. I will eventually do some ultimatum and get that physical and chaos up. You can corrupt this one after it gets cheaper and get instead of life percentage of life and something else. Now for flasks, these are flasks that I will of course change. This one, it's not likely that actually I change it that much. Maybe I just get an extra powerful one for the first mod, the medic. Instead of tier 5, I get a tier 2 or 1. And increased critical is really something important that we want. 150, and this will have almost 100% uptime. Now for my Onslaught Flask. I have some reduced effect of cures here because I'm not playing the Sulfur Flask right now. And eventually we will play Bottle Faith or a normal Sulfur Flask instead of this one. But I really like this one because I have tier 1 attack speed. I rolled it really easily. And all the other Sulfur Flasks that I've been trying to just throw some random things at them has not worked that well. Taste of Hate. We want the extra damage as cold and try to get the, of course, the defensive bonus. With our life flask, we get instant recovery on low life. We are always on low life, so it's always instant. That is one of the better mods. There's also another one that I really like, but it's super hard to roll. The one that when you use it, you get extra regeneration. I will eventually buy one of those with immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood, but not right now. Really, the flask is just something as a support that you use, because ideally, with your leech and other things, you should have enough power. Of course, the flask, you could use 2 or 3 life flasks on maps that have no regen or less regen, and just have instant flasks on those. Really good. You can also use Karui's blood. I have one. Well, I had one, but yeah, here it is. One of this. I used it quite a little bit. It pops your life to full really easily, even of the direst circumstances. You can use 2 of these if you want, but really, of course, in the future we would use, instead of this silver flask, we will use a Rotgut to get Onslaught forever, because we have perma place on our frenzies from a mechanic that I will explain when I get into the POB. And of course, instead of this granite, we'll use a sulfur flask, and then afterwards, when we get even more money, a bottled faith. Now let's go into the POB. This is a POB that I will post, but keep in mind that this is the gear that I have right now, I I'm not posting the one in the future because I kind of want this to be a series of videos that we get updates. I will explain some changes that we can do with the Watcher's Eye and the Flesh and Flame combo that I'm thinking about getting. So let's begin. Here is the kind of general thing. We have our Bladestorm of Uncertainty. You can think that this is low DPS, but it's not really that. Because this is the attack, and then we get Bladestorms. And this Bladestorm, we have 7 of them. So if the mob is static, it will not always happen, but it can happen a lot, and you always hit super fast. You can get those 7 Bladestorms on the mob. And sometimes even if it moves a bit, you get a lot of sand Bladestorms that follow them up and also hit. So you can get a lot of damage here. And of course, this is without any kind of trickery that people usually use. You can see here, I don't have enabled the balances for watch if we had this one, you can see that the DPS goes up quite a little bit. But this is not something that we always have. Same thing with Assassin's Mark. I do not have the mark on hit. It gives like a little bit less damage. But you can also just use Despair instead of that one. Okay, and it's almost the same. You even get more damage with Despair, you can see. But Assassin's Mark gives us the power charges. As for the frenzy charges, right now we're getting them from Loot Rage. I also wanted to get them from this point here with a mark that gives us coin strike and also chances to gain frenzy on hit, but I thought about it and I will not use that. So if you want to be like super ethical, you can take this out until we get the savior, and we get I will use this right here to get extra attack speed, some accuracy, and also the chance to get frenzy charge on hitting a unique enemy. I will of course make it so we have always those to also proc our perma onslaught. Same thing right now. Right now I don't have perma onslaught, so we can also take that one off. But we will have it when we get our Rotgut instead of the Silver Flask. That one also gets filled permanently because it also fills on crit. This one is always up also because of the way we crit. Taste of Hate not activated because of course we are not always with Taste of Hate. It's also not a huge deal of damage, but it's quite a defensive boon for cold. Now for the Granite, it's just some attack speed, nothing crazy. The rares that I'm using are super easy to get. You could even say they are basic. Use health, that flat damage is whatever. Resists, same here. Boots with a lot of resist that I crafted in the graveyard with literally like 20 corpses. Use elemental more, speed more, life less, tier more. Remember that life can be a bit of a bait because you will pick regeneration on your suffixes and you don't really want that. Now for the gloves, I just bought this vanilla like the first day of the league for like 5 chaos, something like that. I remember. The alas, really easy to 6 link now. Remember, you can use the beast thingy. I will also make a short video about that just after this one. 2 psychotic access that I just got as they dropped for people. This was like 70 cows and this one was like 10. I just crafted attack speed on them. Now of course, if you want to snipe better ones or people are more savvy, it's going to be hard. But I'm also going to do a video about graveyard crafting my axe, how I'm going to do it. and how to get all the cool things like merciless, flaring, etc. etc. on that, and the super endgame with the Warlord one. Now, I'm still not using the Abyssus with the tech because it takes a little bit of time to do that, but eventually I will also explain that. Now, for the Lethal Pride, I'm just using a Lethal Pride with 4 double damage things. Also, there is some miscellaneous thing like Warcry effect here, but you can see double damage, some fire resistance, double damage, reduce damage from crits, never bad, double damage, and double damage here. Of course, eventually I also want to get this because it's like a lot of regeneration and other things. I also took these points off so you can put them on more damage or things, but right now I'm running this. So I have 1.5.1k life. These points here, you could literally put them on prismatic skin and also get soul of steel if you want, and your elemental survivability will jump a lot. Like you can see here, 22k. Now we are at 23 or something like that, and from here we are at 24, something like that. You can see 81, 79, 79. Super good max resistance to have if you really want that. Also, you only need to be level 95. I'm level 93 right now because I've been doing a lot of temples and delve, and it's kind of rippy. But it's not a hard thing to do. Now, the things that I plan to do this weekend, because right now it's just Friday, the weekend just begun. I want to get another cluster instead of this one. I also want to get a cluster here. You can see pretty close. I will try and see if Divine Shield is worth, because when we get hit, we have some energy shield, like 100 or something like that, but getting that regeneration could be quite good. As for all the places over here, we are going to ignore them. I am going to get this socket eventually because I will need that dexterity. Remember, right now my neck and my gloves have dexterity, but I'm going to take both of those off. So we need that 40 dexterity to get our blood rage up. And even if I can get it at level 20, maybe at level a little bit lower, okay, the important one of course will be our precision to at least be able to use that one at level 21. Now, that is what I wanted to say about that. So, more different clusters, a little bit of a change over there. Then we have a lot of places to improve. Ashes of the Stars is one of those. Savior, it's another one of those. A Watcher's Eye, hated one with crit, ideally. Then we will see if we can get some precision, something like that. There's also a calculation that I've done with Wrath and extra crit that could be quite good. I will have to move around some things and get an Enlightened, but Enlightened 3 I think it's possible. Enlightened 4 is going to be hard, but I can just have my boots corrupted for +1 and put them there, because the boots I have right now are also placeholders. So it's that. Also, Tekrod's Gaze and some Abyss Jewels instead of the ones I have right now. Also, Secret of Suffering, changing that's why I'm using Hatred, because in the future that Hatred is going to enable Brittle at least 2 to 4%, because the way our damage works, we are doing critical strikes and also double damage. We can get around that even on Pinnacle content. In Ubers, it's unlikely that we get to that, but when we are on that point, we are going to have so much damage anyway. It's not going to matter that much, but it will be on the far future. Now, other things I also wanted to talk about. For Flame Flesh combos, my idea, because I want to stack a lot of attack speed, is going to get eventually undeniable, but This is never a cheap one. It's going to cost at least 20 to 30 to maybe 40 and 50 divines. So we are going to cheat a little bit for a while. I'm going to get the cheapo combo, and I'm going to get Blitz or Rite of Ruin, either of these, the ones that are cheapest, and then use Talent Aspect of Carnage for a while. It will just make us a little bit skishier, but we already have an Abyssus, and we have, like, as you can see, when we put our points again on live, we have 5.2, something like that, max hit. Physical, of course, the other things are okay, but our chaos is kind of dangerous. And this is with our fortify. We are without fortify, of course. We're going to get slammed into the ground. And this is, of course, also with endurance charges. But we should always have them up, because in the future also we are going to have this, some regen, and some physical. I really recommend to run a lot of regen, because you really take a beating with Rite of Ruin. You can see almost 900 Digen. That's also why I was using a Stone Golem in the other video. Now I'm using the other one, the critical and the accuracy one. Yes, to cap our accuracy, and that way we don't have problems over there. And just here is our plan for that. So as you can see, right now we are in the par of 5 to 10 million if things are well, and when we pop everything, let's put the thing when we pop everything. Let's say Test of Fate, extra that, extra onslaught. We are using our Baal Ancestor Warchief, and also, where is it? And berserk, always hear this. And also berserk, we have around 3 million on our main attack, then 1.5 per 7, also 10 million, something like that. So we are doing almost 50 million, and this is, of course, this is not Uber, this is Guardian. Remember, Uber, it's of course not something that you really aspire to do in the state of this build. You will really struggle, die, get one shot by absolutely everything. But if you are like me, are having fun, and we are going to keep going on the build, I'm going to do kind of an update after this weekend, and that way you can see. Right now I have, let me see, have 11 divines and something like this, a lot of juice to sell and things like that. Also a lot of places and things to sell. So it's likely that I get at least ashes or my flesh and flame combo or the Watcher's Eye online, or even everything those to have 3 days to play. And I will see you on the next video.